near enough. Nail that in a bit deeper. Alrighty peoples, I've started building the SUPERdish. Now what you can see here is just one part of the arc. Basically, I sort of stuffed up a bit. That's 2.5 metres, and this one here is 2.6. So it's 2.5 high, but it's now 4 inches short of 2.5. It's actually 2.4. But this is one of the parts of the curvature, and how it's basically going to look at the end of the day is pretty much like that. Now I've been doing a few measurements and whatnot, and measuring a particular trailer. Yeah, I was going to try and basically make all this as one half, and then just make these three as a separate half. Turns out it's better if I make these three as separate, and then this one is separate. And this one here, I'm probably going to use it, I think it's close to 5 metres long. That's this one here. Sorry about the lighting, it just seems I keep shadowing my own camera here. But yeah, basically, got a bunch of 2.6s down here, which is the same as this one here. And there's going to be one of those sticking up either end of this 5 metre one, which is going to be one part, and then basically this framework you see here, there's going to be 3 of those together, and that's why our ends are at 45s, and these ones here are 2 lots of 22.5s, and they're basically the middle ones there. These ones here, basically that one, and these ones here with your 45s, that, and that. Yeah, that's your big 5 metre one there. Now, because I've done it the way I have, I try to copy basically the old trusses in my house more or less, by, you know, those trusses in my house obviously were built without gang nails because it was before the days of gang nails. And I was going to try and stick this on the end, and I thought, yeah, right, you got 3-inch nails and you got to go, what, through 4 inches of wood? Yeah, and I thought, yeah, that's great. You're going to split open the end grain, it's going to be a mess. And so I've gone and done it like this, and whacked in on this piece here, back on the top one there. I might belt one in the other side or whatever. I might even use a screw just to secure that a bit better, to be honest. I've been thinking about using 3-inch screws on that end piece there to secure that in properly. But yeah, what then happens is, we've got this turkey here. What I really seriously need is a 5 metre by 5 metre bunch of this ply. Now this is your form ply that's got your black film on it. It's basically used for casting concrete stuff. And I've seen a whole heap of this stuff with basically 4x2 framing and like scaffolding and whatever backed up against the back of it. And then they pour the concrete in, and that's, you know, the way they do a lot of things when it comes, because that's basically what it's for. But yeah, it's got a sort of, that outer part is mediocre waterproof, and I'm most likely hoping to, I don't know if I actually will or not, but I probably will, I hope to anyway, go and buy some paint and paint this whole thing as well, just to give it a little bit more longevity. But I've got to basically cut curves out of this. We're talking 2.44 by 1.2, I think this is. And really speaking, I need it to be 5 metres by 5 metres, but honestly it wouldn't even fit in the shed. Initially, I was going to do these like basically as 4 quarters, like, you know, it's like a pie that's been cut into 4, but on this time I'm doing half a circle and another half a circle. And I'm also going to have beams that go from there to there, out at the ends to join, well, probably not from there to there, but definitely from there to there and there to there, to basically join these three together and those three together, and then we're going to at least have to be able to measure the distance there and set that out, maybe with a couple of pegs in the ground, and then slip this down the centre. But yeah, due to the fact I've cut the edge off that there and overlapped that one, I may actually need to put a few more packers along this centre part here of this long one to get it right, basically. But yeah, the ultimate thing that we'll find out is when we get the correct curves in this. Now, this is not going to be parabolic. I've played around with parabolic formulas and come out with a whole stack of stuff that look like a car headlight lens. And yeah, you're supposed to just use the first bit, and I played around and I've done everything, and it didn't matter how I calculated it, it just sort of still come out looking like a car headlight lens, even if I'd done it half or whatever, you know, it's just, yeah. So I saw a pretty simplified version of how to, you know, get the parabolic formula. It was quite easy to work out, but I get this whole shape that was basically pretty much looked like that. And yet I tried and tried just to calculate the end part here, and I just couldn't do it just to get this end part, to get anything that actually had a real, like fine exacting thing. And I try and make miniature versions or make a giant version, and then, you know, just don't get to the part where I draw these two bits, and it was damn near impossible to get it. I mean, you could get it, but it was just a whole series of dots that were not very detailed. So this won't be parabolic, this will be spherical, and in that, instead of all the light coming in and basically, as it go again, bump, bump, and it's sort of all, when you've got a parabola, the whole lot meets in one spot and you get a real pinpoint. With a spherical lens, I know the places to flip this, she like that. And you end up with all the points, the focal point isn't one pinpoint here, it ends up being like, basically like that. Well, that's a little bit high, but what I'm trying to say is it ends up a wide focal point as opposed to a pinpoint one. And that's sort of all right, but I'm a bit worried about pot handles. Am I going to expose pot handles to dramatic temperatures? So I might be pulling a few handles off the pot so they don't basically start melting the plastic handles. And of course, all this will be sprayed in pot-bellied black. The pots, I mean, will be sprayed in pot-bellied black on the bottom. And yeah, she'll be a worthwhile little thing. But I won't have a real fine focal point. I'll have a large one that I suspect will be about between 2 and 2.5 foot. That's just my rough guess anyway. We'll see what happens when it actually happens. But the project is on the way, and I thought I need one more of these sheets. I might need two. I might need to get these sheets and sort of arrange them in a thing like one sheet, half a sheet, and one sheet, like that, so that I sort of, and then make me curves from all of that. But I've got a little trick to be able to make curves that are perfectly circular curves. Oh, look, you name your size, I can just about do it. If you want one that's 200 metres from there to there, don't worry. It's no big deal for me to be able to do it. And this is only going to be 5 metres from there to there. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be working on this weekend and whatnot. And sort of show you guys that I've made a bit of a start on the whole thing. And that's one of, to work out to be again, well, one of 6 of these, but in total we've got 8 uprights. And the idea is that when this is sort of done, I'm going to probably have to join parts of this together. So I'll probably have like little slits off the edges or like off the offcuts, and glue it together or screw it together to basically give us one great big 5 metre perfectly circular curve, and then that will be basically laid against the side of this and screwed in, and I may end up lopping the tops of these off if they don't quite work, or the chances are it's actually going to come up here and stop about there or something like that, or if I don't put that extra few packers in to get the 4 inches extra that I missed out on at the end, she'll come up to about here, and I might just have it stop down here or whatever it ends up being, or get another little bit of plywood coming out the side, bang a few nails through that, and have that coming out to meet the other piece, and then whack a few screws in. And then I hope to have like little right angle brackets that come off this 3/4 ply to try and go through the eyelets. And there's eyelets on these, they're windscreen reflectors for, the things you stick in your car to stop your dashboard getting burning hot, to keep it inside your car cool. They're basically got a little bit of structure to them, and it's better than having mylar flapping in the wind by having those with foam. And I've got, I don't know, something like 36 or 40 something of them. Massive amount of them anyway. I got for like $3 each. Absolutely heaps of them. They got eyelets. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get them all to connect, but I hope to make use of the eyelets that are on them. And there may even be little miniature bits of framing going between the plywood, so they're in the right spot to mount the eyelets on. But we're going to work all this out in due course, and it's going to be a bit of a interesting little journey, and it's good to see we're finally started, but it gives you a bit of an idea of the size. I mean, basically it's the size of my long wheelbase car. That's going to be the diameter of this thing. So that's it for tonight, peoples. Gonna go get some, make some lunch and whatnot for tomorrow. So I got myself 1, 2, 3, 4 that I've done. I've got another 2 waiting here. That's your 2.6 uprights. There's your little centre ones, your 2.5s. And I've got another couple of 2.6s for this big one. Other than that, that's the longest foot I've got. I've basically ran out of wood that's a reasonable length with which to make your cross beams here. So I need to get a bit more of that and bring that over to be able to continue on, to do the cross beams for these 2, which attach to them 2, and the cross beams for those 2, which attach to me giant centre one. But until that, all I've got is that little stuff there that's, not even 3 foot long, and a bunch of firewood offcuts. Anyway, we made a start.